You live in the world, and the world does not live in you. You live in a world, in society, expecting that the world will give you what you need. You live in the world as a consumer, consuming resources of money, power, assets, relationship, influence, opportunities. And to that you call quality of life. And I question that so fundamentally that this video will take a different form from the videos you are used to seeing Observing Beauty channel. But if you at all listen, you will see that the same free creative flow is expressing itself here. Why is there so much injustice in the world? Why society is so power hungry that it sustains inequality and power abuse so fundamentally, to a point that no one can change that. No new system can change this. Why? And how are you related to this endless movement of corruption? I hope you will ask the question. In fact, the true value of this video is this question. I will share with you my own observation, hoping that you will not be fooled to accept it, adopt it, or skip in any way the actual questioning without leaning on any other source other than the question itself and your capacity to allow it to flower by not knowing. It so happened in my life that I had few good years pursuing financial freedom. Tremendous effort, risk, interest, experience. And at the peak of that experience, something became very clear to me, that financial freedom can be, in fact most often is, the very chains for inner freedom. How many people you know that enjoy financial freedom and are willing to give up on that to find inner freedom? And don't be fooled. If inner freedom is conditioned, is subject to financial freedom, it's as far from inner freedom as it can be. This talk describes the question in the form of a project. Justribute is a name that is comprised of few words. Just, as justice, of distribution of value based on the actual contribution of the value creators. And put a question mark at the end. Is it possible? Practically, in today's life, is it possible for an individual or a group to create value and enjoy distribution of that value which was created based on the actual contribution of each one of them? Or is the reality very different from that? And the so-called distribution is a very small fraction of what's left from the power system that abused that value to increase its own power. Ask yourself by giving time to the question, observing it, looking around. To me, given the things I saw in my life, given the capacity of questioning that took place, it's a fact. It may be very different for you. So the question is asked beyond ideas. There is no interest in playing with ideas. To understand the ingredients that brought about this twisted corruption that exists in every corner of society, one needs to start by questioning power. Power for human beings in society is a movement towards the more. Power is more. It's the same meaning in two different words. A power stop being power if it loses power. At least not maintain its level and trying to go beyond to a more and more. Ask yourself if this is true. If there is power increase, somewhere there is power decrease. If one thing becomes more powerful in society, another element in society becomes less powerful. Otherwise, the power is equally distributed. Now, value, the essence of value creation, the value that is created by innovation, by problem solving, by development, by education, the value itself is always equal to itself. It's an absolute expression of creation. That's the value. An increase of value lead to increase of value. It might be not intuitive at first, but I promise you, it doesn't take extreme capacity to see it. Actually, it is very simple. All start to be complicated in society when power and money are interrelated. When money and power is the same movement, the movement of the more, then value is compromised. Value creation is compromised. To make it very concrete for you, if you work in a project, in a certain structure of power, and you need to make a decision whether to create value and take the risk and go through the difficulty, or choose another path that will maximize your capacity to earn money, ask yourself, if you are at all honest, what is the choice that you will make on a daily level? Now, when power is value, value always increases. You may stop, go back to the first slide, watch it again, and this time truly ask yourself if it is so. And here is the beginning of the chaos. We were told by society and at some point by ourselves that quality of life can be achieved by increase of power. The more power we have, the more influence we have, the more financial capacity we have, the more our life will enjoy quality. What kind of world is created from that one assumption? That each one of us is as responsible and sustaining factor of that assumption in one's life, practically. The other assumption, which you have all the right to say it's at best an assumption, is that there can be quality of life that is the result of value increase, not power increase. What kind of world will be created by each? The first, you know, you look around. The second, you don't know, so you can ask. Let me share with you that most viewers in this channel, Observing Beauty, belong to the group of age between 20 to 35. Then a little younger and somewhat older than that. Now, this is the pyramid of age, and the first falsehood that I so much hope that you will be able to acknowledge in your life, not in my words. There is this automatic conditioned movement between the age 20 to 45 plus minus, trying to achieve financial freedom, living the rat race, chaotic pursuit of power accumulation in order, theoretically, to reach a point that this financial freedom allow quality of life and, in simple words, to enjoy your life to whatever shape and form of idea you have about enjoying life. Now, two facts about it that you can check. One, it is not true because the cost of living and the span of opportunities so drastically increase. So what used to be the effort they take to be able to own a house, a living, grow kids, send them to education, all that became almost impossible to the average human being in the world, definitely impossible to people from more weak society status or capacity. And even for those that belong to the so-called strong and well-established layer in society, financially I mean, the ratio between the effort and the time to the actual material freedom that they can gain became far more challenging. And I'm using very soft words here because I want to leave you the room to check for yourself. So the essence of this pyramid, which in my view is fake, misleading, it's set to mislead you, to waste your life. The essence of it, that you are living a quality of life in the future, which doesn't exist. The real question is, what would be quality of life now? Whether you are 18, 25, 35, 55, what is it that ensure quality of life now? If you still listen to this talk, and if you don't stop here and ask yourself that question, then you wasted almost 20 minutes of your life. But if you ask that question, you may be born today to a life of quality. Of course, if there will be an interest, and if the nature of if this video will be accepted as a food for thought, for observation, for inquiry, for questioning, as opposed to agreeing, disagreeing, and all that stuff, then there is so much more to say. But to leave you with the entry to that which I see, quality of life of now is the life that address both in resources and in efforts and in opportunities and in actuality health. Health, by the way, is the physical health, the mental health, the emotional health, air, the space, the quality of the environment in which you exist, and the inner space which you are. Relationships with others, with oneself, with the nature, and passion. Passion for life itself. In a life where an individual live, act, breathe, value creation that make the fruits of this harp, health, air, relationship, and passion, this life does not see quality in the future. This life is perfectly balanced and flowing freely. Question that too. So here we are, you heard about it. I don't know if you will do the work, which means ask the question, doubt, challenge, If you do, please leave a comment that point to what is it that is missing in your understanding. Don't tell me that you liked it or not. Don't tell me that you agree or not. Tell me, after you do the work, where is it that you are struggling to find the ultimate answer for the question that we asked at the beginning. A whole different society and a whole different you.